a 5-month-old Moroccan baby bathed by a 20-year-old Argentine youngster, one completely unaware of the world, the other unaware that he was about to become a legend at the club he had just begun to rise in. And on that day, during a photo shoot, an unknown truth, both would go down in Barcelona's history. On July 13, 2007, Munir Nasraoui, a Moroccan immigrant, and Sheila Abana from Equatorial Guinea welcomed their little chubby-cheeked sweet baby, Lamine Yamal. They lived in Rocafonda, a district of Mataró, a town of 120,000 people located 40 minutes from Barcelona's coastline. Rocafonda was built in the mid-1970s with new housing developments, tall buildings without elevators. Over time, as the original residents aged and moved out, the area became home to many immigrant families. Munir, a painter, built his home there. At the time, Yamal's mother was not working and was fully dedicated to raising him. During those years, Barcelona frequently participated in charity events in collaboration with UNICEF and local NGOs. In one such social responsibility project, covered by the Catalan newspaper Diario Sport, newborns from the Catalonia region were brought together with young Barcelona players. 12 footballers were invited to the event, each paired with a child born in one of the 12 months of the year. The photo shoot took place in December. Sheila Abana, who had traveled by train with her 5-month-old baby and barely made it to the studio, was there. They prepared for the shoot. The baby was placed in a small tub for the photo. They waited for the young Barcelona player who was about to enter. The team at the time was filled with stars like Ronaldinho, Eto'o, and Henry. Messi, then just 20 years old, was only beginning to establish himself in the first team. He walked in and followed the instructions of photographer Juan Monfort. He bathed Yamal in the small tub, lathered him with soap, played with him, and showed him affection. Fortunately, 5-month-old Yamal didn't cry at all that day. And though it wasn't part of the original plan, after the baby was dried and wrapped in a towel, his mother, Abana, asked Messi for a picture with him. The Argentine happily obliged. That was the first time Messi looked into the eyes of the boy who would later be seen as his heir. Under the bright Mediterranean sun, Lamine Yamal took his first steps in Rocafonda. Life was not always easy. By the time he turned 3, his parents decided to separate. His mother moved to Roca del Vallès and started working as a waitress at McDonald's. His days were spent alternating between his mother's and father's homes. These experiences shaped his character, leaving him quiet and reserved. Many of his relatives also lived in Rocafonda. His uncle, Abdul Yamal, who ran an Arabic bakery back then, still operates it today. Football was hugely popular in the area. Many children enrolled in private football schools, but those who couldn't afford it, like Yamal, played on the neighborhood's graffiti-covered concrete pitch. His life changed when his mother met Inocente Diaz at her workplace. Known as Kubala Diaz, he had played for local teams in Catalonia and after retiring began managing La Torreta club. After getting to know him, Yamal's mother asked Diaz to take her son into the team. At 5 years old, Yamal transitioned from playing on concrete to playing on grass. Diaz immediately recognized his talent. He cared deeply for the quiet, respectful boy and even provided financial assistance to his family when needed. His efforts paid off. One day, a Barcelona scout watching a 7-a-side tournament at Torreta took an immediate interest in Yamal and contacted his family. Without hesitation, they enrolled him in La Masia. From the moment he joined the U6 team, Yamal stood out, a boy with Moroccan and Equatorial Guinean heritage who learned football on the streets of Spain. And as if that wasn't enough, he was hard-working and deeply passionate about the game. His mother bought a car to drive him to training, but his father didn't have that option. So when Yamal stayed with his father, Barcelona coach Jordi Font personally picked him up and drove him 30 minutes to the training facilities. At just 14, he was promoted to the U19 team, catching the attention of Xavi, who closely monitored his progress. At 15, he was handed his first senior team appearance, coming on for Xavi in a match against Real Betis. At just 15 years, 9 months, and 16 days old, Yamal had already claimed the title of Barcelona's youngest player, taking it from Vicente Martinez, who set that record back in 1941, and had become the talk of the world. Furthermore, after the match, Xavi remarked that his talent reminded him of Messi's early years. He dedicated his first goal to the neighborhood where he grew up with his 23 cousins, marked by the postal code 304. In the Champions League match against Porto, he continued breaking the record as the youngest player, yet misfortune struck. He started the match suffering from a bowel illness and had to leave for the restroom during the second half while the game was still underway. With the team 1-0 ahead, Xavi waited 10 minutes for Yamal's return, forcing the team to play with 10 men. When it became clear that Yamal wouldn't be able to return, Marcos Alonso was brought on instead. Barcelona then included a €1 billion release clause in his contract. Lamine Yamal was still just a child who had recently turned 17, but a €1 billion child. Euro 2024 proved to be a tournament where Yamal emerged as a shining star on the international stage, playing a major role in Spain's championship journey. The young player injected speed and creativity into the team's attack with his agility, distinctive dribbles, and well-timed finishing in crucial matches. From the group stages to the knockout rounds, his decisive goals and assists helped Spain assert its dominance against tough opponents. Throughout the tournament, the young miracle captured the eyes of football fans all over Europe. The 2024 to 2025 season also marked the beginning of a systemic revolution as Hansi Flick took over as the team's head coach. Flick adapted the innovative principles of modern football to the squad, emphasizing a quick passing game and high pressing. This new approach boosted the team's tempo and aggressiveness on the pitch. Flick's influence was especially evident in the El Clásico matches. In one derby, Barcelona showcased superior performance and controlled possession from the start. In the 27th minute, Yamal became a key figure by out-dribbling the opposing defense and launching swift counterattacks. As the game progressed, his clever passes and short sprints greatly contributed to the team's overall control. In a counterattack in the 77th minute, Yamal got on the end of Rafinha's pass and drilled the ball with his weak foot past Andre Yunin. This season, he proved he was among the best by delivering match-winning performances in La Liga. In the Champions League, he continued to break records, becoming the youngest goal scorer, which led the entire world to ask, is this just the beginning? One of the most critical moments of the season occurred during the Supercopa de España final, dubbed an El Clásico, played in Saudi Arabia. In response to an early goal from Real Madrid, Yamal's goal came in the 22nd minute. Robert Lewandowski sent a deep pass that split the Madrid defense, leaving Yamal unmarked. With that first touch assist from the Polish striker, Yamal used his speed to leave the defense behind. Cutting inside from the left wing, he deceived Tchouaméni with a fake before gently placing the ball into the far corner of the net with his left foot. This move recalled Lionel Messi's classic goal-scoring style and left spectators in awe. That goal secured Barcelona's psychological dominance, and later in the match, with goals from Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Balde, the team staged a historic comeback. While leading 5-1, however, the team's goalkeeper was sent off with a red card. With this sudden development, Real Madrid reorganized tactically and increased their pressure. Fans commented, if the goalkeeper hadn't received a red card, perhaps the scoreline would have been very different, while Yamal's performance continued to win praise. All these achievements indicate that Lamine Yamal isn't just a star of today. He could very well join the ranks of future legends. Some football fans and commentators have compared his early performances to those of Messi, sparking debates over whether Yamal might one day become a GOAT like Messi. His rise at Barcelona and on the international stage carries enormous expectations. Now the real question remains. Time will tell, but can this young talent, with his effort, determination, and footballing intelligence, etch his name in history?